It's Monday, August 18th, and this is the first of 5 videos focused on the industrials sector of the S&P 500 index. So we're going to start with a brief overview of the industrial sector. Won't bore you to death with this. There's just a few more companies than we had seen previously in the utilities and energy sector. There's 78 total. This is the breakdown of their market cap and their top 10 largest constituents. Biggest one makes up 6.2% of the index. Here are the top 10. You might be familiar with some of these, if not all of these companies. These are the big industrial players. Might be surprised to see Uber on the list and not in the information technology sector, but there they are. And to help us out a little bit, understanding this sector, I've broken these companies down into their subsectors. So here's a handy list from Fidelity, just showing the prior performance of these different subsectors. Won't dig into that too much. Let's get right to the dashboard because this should help unravel these subsectors a little bit. So the biggest one, aerospace and defense, we can see that this is largely clustered here in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic. Big companies like GE Aerospace, Boeing, all the big defense contractors, Northrop, Lockheed Martin, RTX. And if we zoom into Washington, D.C., we can see the couple little arrows representing their daily stock change on Friday. Another big chunk of this sector is machinery. You can see machinery companies headquartered largely across the Midwest of the United States here. One in Dallas. And up here we can see the breakdown of these. Caterpillar being the biggest. Deere. Parker Hannifin. Haven't heard of them. And moving down into the other sectors. Ground transportation. There's Uber. Also see the train companies there, J.B. Hunt, the big trucking company, along with Old Dominion. Commercial services and suppliers. So you can really see this sector is a mix of a lot of different large, important companies to the economy. This little sliver, passenger airlines, the breakdown between the big three airlines, United, Delta, and Southwest. And then finally, let's just end out on professional services. You can see that we have a breakdown here. ADP, big payroll processing company, falls under professional services. Equifax, credit rating company. So it's a more complicated sector than before, so we're going to treat it a bit differently in the update series. Again, these are the numbers from Friday on the market, and all 78 members of the index are a bit more difficult to track in one screen. So we'll go through the subsectors and provide an overview of each as we do these weekly, or daily rather, updates. So back to our sector dashboard. Just wanted to point out, again, the industrials in red, sized by market cap. One cluster I wanted to highlight here is Washington, D.C. This is where we'll find most of those defense contractors. There's Xylem, their machinery, Boeing, RTX, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and Leidos Holdings. So major cluster of industrials, largely in the aerospace and defense industry, here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So we took a look at this last week, so I won't belabor it too much. It was kind of a mixed day on the market, no major moves one way or the other. Did want to point out another company located here in our Arizona Sun Corridor, First Solar, was on track with the other renewables associated companies like NextEra, AES that we saw in the market on Friday. So let's get back to the slides. And I mentioned in the last video potentially doing an analysis of companies as part of this. I'm going to give it a shot, one for each sector, trying to identify the leading company in the subsector, and then providing this Porter's Five Forces breakdown to help understanding of what's going on within that subsector, and then if there's any geographic items of particular interest that we can dig into or set up for a future video series. So that will start tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Really want to help unravel the complexity of the industrial sector using frameworks that focus on the leaders of their particular subsector, how they're performing, what they're doing, and if they're using geography or geospatial technology to gain a competitive advantage in that subsector. So that's going to start tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. And thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.